Welcome, everybody. This is Market Peak with Seth and Matt. Today is Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. Please hit the subscribe button down over there. Stay in the know with all the market trends, the news, the trades. In addition to that, we got a lot we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the fact that Elon Musk is telling everyone to sell their Dogecoin. Actually, not everyone. Telling the whales to sell their Dogecoin. Sundial also had a $1 billion shelf offering after the bell, which is kind of interesting because they just had an offering. So what's the plan with that? We do want to say that we are not financial advisors. None of this is financial advice. Definitely consult your professional. Just giving you, our thoughts, that's for sure. And we're also going to be talking about 5 things that have made my 8-bagger portfolio successful. So just some of the stuff that I consider when I'm making my trades for sure. So how's it going out there? By the way, Matt's in the car again today, which is kind of a nice little change of pace. How's it going?
Good. Just got off. It's cold here.
Yeah.
Very cold here out where I am.
Said minus 10 today? Minus 10,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Good Lord.
Minus 10.
Yeah, that's cold, folks. I live in Miami today. It's just like, it's like 75 degrees, but it did rain all day. All right, so let's go ahead and jump straight into what I got going on in my portfolio. So as of today, I'm up 700%. But what I do have these other 2 accounts. Once again, I've been slowly moving my money over. So the first one here is what I have in Fidelity. This one is 8ITX, Artificial Intelligence Technology. I'm going to be talking about them. That's going to be our feature this weekend. As you can see, I have 5,000 shares of that in my Fidelity account. And then Natural Shrimp, we've been talking about it. I got 3,000 shares of that one. 4,000 shares of that one. I was looking at this over here. So 4,000 shares of that one. That one's kind of trading flat as of late. Actually, today hasn't really done a whole lot. You can see Sundial. It's in this one too, but I got this one at $1.54. So I'm still up on that one. Got 700 shares there. So I got that one like pretty early. And you can see this is TD Ameritrade. So you can see I got Blue Sphere. I didn't get a lot. I got 35,000 shares. They're like 2 cents, 2.5 cents or whatever. And AITX, that's the artificial intelligence. I have that over here as well. So as you can see, we're going to be talking about that one, but that's what I got going on with the other portfolio. Once again, slowly moving stuff over. I'll probably keep a little bit in my Robinhood account as well. Still have the 2 calls for $2.50 on Sundial, and also a $10 call that expires in mid-March for TRXC. Which was down today. They were up like 8% on Friday, and they're down like 6% today. And of course, Sundial just got freaking hammered once again. So, not surprised there. Actually, it traded flat. It was up 7%, then it went down like 7% in post. So it's taken quite a beating. And with that, Matt, why don't we just go ahead and jump into the fact that they have this $1 billion shelf offering after the bell. So, and it's actually minus 7.7% today officially after 8 o'clock when we were recording this. So what are your thoughts? I mean, so there's a couple reasons why they do that, right? Obviously they want to, sell shares, but what I also read is sometimes they'll do this. There's going to be like a merger. So this is something that they'll give to executives or something they'll offer to another company with the merger and stuff like that. So maybe it could be something like that as well.
Yeah, almost like a preferred offering. Yeah, it seems like this is a way for them to, in my opinion, wait until the market is a little higher. Because if they come online with their shares right now, and to be specific, right now they're shelved, as in, they've done all the paperwork, they're filed, and it's now up to the company to decide how much and when to dispense their shares, right? And it makes sense for them to wait for, an opportune time. Sure. Right now, market's chopping sideways, maybe not the best time to, offer a bunch of shares. But, if cannabis takes off again, which I'm sure it will, say off news of legalization, right, in the coming months, then they might decide to bring all their shares online. Sure. It's just about waiting for the right time.
Hopefully Sundial has something up their sleeve. It's just the timing of this is interesting. So they always announce stuff like this after the bell, but they just had one. And I think they were offered for $1 a share, and this was like a month ago or whatever. So, hopefully they're expecting the shares to go up. And for whatever reason, maybe there's an acquisition, like you said, maybe there's some sort of legalization thing that's going to be moving through or whatever. A lot of people say they don't have any connections here in the United States, but if you acquire somebody or you merge with somebody, you certainly will. So hopefully they got something up their sleeve. That is for sure. And the second thing we want to talk about is Elon Musk telling everyone to sell their Dogecoin, or no, the whales. And the reason why, he wants Dogecoin to be like the people's cryptocurrency. And from what he's saying, which we can all believe, there's a select number of whales that are just hoarding millions, if not billions of these, and he wants them to sell it so they'll be offered to the public, and then everyone can jump back on again. Right now it's about 50 or 5.54 cents, or 5.4 cents, that is. That's for sure.
Yeah, so it hasn't really taken too much of a hit.
Nope.
From what most people would consider this is negative news. Why is Elon Musk doing this? Why is he trying to scare the market? Probably my guess is because he wants the price lower.
Yeah.
Why would he want the price lower? So he can buy. It's an odd thing to say, but given his history, it doesn't surprise me. And
it's an odd thing for him to say too, because
probably work.
He's gotten in trouble for stuff like this before. That's why it's like, dude.
Yeah, but has he really gotten in trouble?
I mean, to a degree. I mean, he just posted, I'm thinking about taking Tesla private, and then he had to step down as whatever it was.
Funding 420 secured.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know if the same thing applies to crypto, and maybe that's why he's doing this, because you coppers can't get me here, but it just seems, I don't know. We'll see. No.
I mean, Dogecoin has a relatively, compared to the majors, low market cap. It's more easily manipulated than, say, Bitcoin.
Of course.
It's the most popular penny stock out there in the crypto.
People love it right now. It's like the meme stock.
Yeah, it's the perfect meme stock. It's been around for a long time. It has, trading history built up.
It's an OG for sure.
I think it's going to go higher.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe not immediately,
sure,
but over the long term. It's also traded on Robinhood.
I had
too.
Hundreds of thousands. I had them.
Hundreds billions back when it was 2/100 of a cent.
Right here, back when I had Redcoin and
Redcoin.
Remember Redcoin and all that?
Yeah, I remember Redcoin.
Mintcoin. So.
Bought Redcoin.
I even have some crypto kitties around there somewhere. I don't know if they're worth anything anymore, but I do have a little harem of crypto kitty. That's for sure. And I actually put this in. I didn't mention this. Did you know Robinhood has a debit card? So Ronnie B, I didn't know that. My friend was on our other show, our current event show, because we said so, and we were talking crypto. I was like, and stocks. I was like, we can't do it on the show because we have the other show. But he was telling me there's a debit card. You can just swipe it, and it comes right out of your account, dude. I did not know that. I do not need that in my life. That's for sure. This
is how fast the world of fintech is changing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to go into the five things that I've done to get my 8-bagger portfolio, which has been up to 12. It's around 7 right now. Let's be honest. The number one thing is make sure there's a community. So I think we can understand that. Nowadays, you can do that. You can go on StockTwits. You can go on Reddit. You can go on all kinds of different platforms and stuff like that, and you can see how many people are following it, how many people are commenting, how many people are in the room right now, how many people signed up for the room or the subreddit or whatever. Is it going up? Is it going down? So it's a really good way to kind of judge what your next investment might be. I always try to wait a little bit so I can watch a stock, find out what the trends are. But I think it's really good that, if there's a community, it's definitely going to help you at the very least know that there's some support, but also learn a little bit more about what the other people who are also investing think, which will give you a much more educated way forward.
Awesome.
All right.
Agree.
No, I guess that was perfect. No comment. Okay. All right. So wait for a technical setup. So this is really about, the right moment to strike. And this is where, Matthew, you can expound a little bit because you can say it a little bit more eloquently than I can.
I don't care how much you like the stock, how much you believe in its core concept. price to me is what's going to matter, especially if you're entering into a serious trade.
Sure.
All trades should be serious.
Of course.
If you're looking for a good technical setup, the first place you want to go to is any previous areas of support. Where is the price action show history at? Say, for instance, take a stock like Apple, right? Say it spends 2 months kind of building out channel support in that like $230, $240 price level. And then one day it spikes 100% and then drops back down the next day to 230, 240. Well, based on the fact that we have held support at the 230, 240 area, it's a good bet to suggest that it'll hold support again at that area, and then you'll get a bounce. So that would be a good technical setup for someone looking for an opportunistic trade.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing I look at is just simple technical indicators, right? Your simple moving averages, your 20-day, your 50-day. I mean, you can use the 200-day if you want. We haven't. It's been a while since we've hit the 200-day moving average.
Things are a little too crazy for that.
Yeah, a little too crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, your 20 and your 50-day, just, get on TradingView, have those two indicators up. And if the stock you're looking to trade comes back down and touches on support at that 20-day period moving average, or that 50-day, it's a good bet that you're going to get a bounce and you're going to be able to trade against that bounce.
And another thing too, I mean, if it's like really, really steady and all of a sudden it has bad earnings or a little bit of bad press or whatever, it's always, they say buy the dip, but that's also could be a really, really good time, provided that what's going on. Obviously, if they have a bunch of like crazy lawsuits going on, or they have to close a bunch of stores, different story. But if there's something, maybe like for instance, space, Virgin Galactic, SBCE, it's one of those ones that's just slowly going up. They missed their test flight. It's going down like I said it would. I'm going to jump back in, just waiting for the right time. That would be my technical setup for this one, waiting for the right time to jump back in. And hopefully it'll be, close to the bottom. And then they'll announce another, I'll buy in. And then a week later or two, they'll announce the other test flight. It'll start going up. Cool. And I've been watching that long enough that I remember I've been watching it since it was like $15. It goes up for a little bit. For whatever reason, it dips down. Then it goes up more. Then it dips down a little bit. Then it goes up more. So, I mean, right now it's dipped about $10 a share, but it's still trading, in the 50s. So it's
the tough part about some of your trades is that you're trading stocks that don't have a lot of price history.
Sure.
And that are, making these crazy 50 to 100% moves every day.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like it's hard to find a good technical setup for a stock behavior.
Sometimes
like
you just get lucky.
But sometimes you get lucky, but it's always a good bet to rely on that 50% retracement.
Sure.
Right. The stock goes up to 100, comes back down to 50. That's probably a trade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, so the next one. So this is a good one. Take a moment of reflection. So it's so easy, when you're just caught up in the heat of the moment and the stock's going up. And this is something I need to learn from as well. So Matt can definitely tell plenty of stories where I called him and said, dude, look what's going on. And then it freaking, whatever I was into just crashes to the ground. And of course, I didn't sell. And the reason why, I didn't take a moment of reflection. So if you double your money, if you have a really good day or two, just take a moment to really think about why it happened, what could happen. If you were to like lose it all, how upset would you be? Should you maybe take a little bit of profit? Should you maybe, hold firm? So really, really think about like everything that's going on, and don't just, trade off emotion, which is something that we talk about a lot on the show, something a lot of people talk about as well. I'm sure Matthew, you can attest to some of my befuddles and getting caught up in the moment. That's for sure.
Oh, I'm the same way. And I do oftentimes have to literally stop myself, pull myself away from the screen, and think about what I'm stepping into. If you're excited about a trade and everyone else under the sun is too, and you're up on that trade, stop and think.
Yeah.
If something's up with 200%, maybe the right thing to do in today's world is not think, but nine times out of 10, you probably want to stop and think whether or not you want to keep carrying those bags.
And you can look at all the stocks that we've been following. There's very, very few. I mean, Tesla's the only one that I can think of. Apple, of course. I mean, they're all ones, but most of the people watching shows like this one, even myself, I have that stuff in my 401k, and I did ride this portfolio that I'm working on for the show. I did ride Tesla with that for a while. I sold it when they didn't beat numbers because I knew it would probably go down. But most of them, yeah, when they go up like that, they're just not going to stay there. And they're not going to stay there. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to hold on to it. Maybe it'll go up just a little bit more. But, just take that moment to really think about what the right move is. So, all right, the next one is going to be diversify your sectors and also your market cap. One thing, I'm a little over diversified or over invested into right now the weed realm, just because the cannabis realm, just because I got caught up in the whole sundial thing. But I also have TRXC, that's medical device, which is not, still kind of a small cap. But I also have, a couple others like shrimp, which are micro cap and stuff like that. I don't have any large ones. I had space for a while, but I actually sold that recently. But you really want to diversify. You don't want to be stuck in the same sectors. You don't want to be stuck in all micro cap or even, small cap or even mid cap. You really want to spread it out. That way you always have a little bit of insurance. It's an obvious one, but it's definitely one worth mentioning.
A lot of people are chasing micro caps right now, expecting to get rich. That's something you want to think about. But you got into most of them before they got on the news.
Sure.
And that was the key.
Yeah.
But think about what's happening right now. When did the mainstream media start telling you to rotate into value stocks? It's been a while. They started to talk about banks, energy, small caps, maybe I'd say like way back in October.
Sure.
Way back last fall.
Yeah.
Seems like a long time ago. Look at the Russell 2K, right? Broken out to new all-time highs. In fact, I think it's leading to the upside right now. As it's leading the other major indices,
sure,
which is rare.
Yeah.
Is that value trade? Is that small cap, micro cap trade going to continue indefinitely? Is that a crowded space right now? Is that a crowded trade?
Probably.
Just have it in the back of your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, and the last one, invest in companies and industry you understand. Like, this is important. I mean, if you're investing in a company or even a sector just because it's so hot right now, at the very least, learn about what you're investing in or in what you are investing. And the reason why is because you just don't want to be one of those people that's going into something blind. Tesla, I love technology, huge into renewable energy. Space, Virgin Galactic, I love space. I'm like, I could tell you so much about what's going on with space news and all the discoveries and all that. I just follow that stuff. As far as marijuana is concerned, I have a lot of friends that are actually in the industry, and I also know people that end up using it because of some of the issues that they're having, especially when you see the people that have like Tourette's syndrome and get seizures and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things that I've been following for quite a while anyway. So these are, industries I already know about, because then when you see news, when you read news, you'll be able to determine what's real, what's not, what's really to be considered something of concern, or what's just, blowing smoke and stuff like that. So I think it's just really, really important.
Yeah, and if I could just add one more thing to that. We're participating in an accelerated market right now. Trends that may have made their way into the news cycle, are now making their way into the news cycle quickly, quicker than before. So you want to think ahead. You want to be forward thinking. You want to think about sectors that have yet to be fully gutted out. You want to think about the next investment trend, long-term investment trend, because again, these long-term investment trends are now becoming short-term investment trends as the market searches for higher and higher yields.
Yep.
So we're in a different paradigm.
Big time. So, all right. Well, I guess it's time to move into everyone's favorite segment, 3 charts with Matt. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the VIX that just can't seem. I actually looked. It had dipped down to, let's see here. 19.9% for, or 19.7 was it? 19.9 for just a little moment. But it refused to finish it. Now we're at 21.5%.
Yeah. So what happened is it hit the lower end of that support band. Like that mid 19 to mid 21, mid 20, I should say, really support band.
Yep.
And we got a bounce.
Yep.
We got a reaction bounce. The market didn't really give us a corresponding down move, in my opinion. And by that, I mean, the S&P shares an inverse correlation with the VIX. And normally when you get, I think we had a 7% up move in the VIX today. Normally you'll get some sort of corresponding, significant move down in the S&P, but that didn't really materialize. And I'm wondering if the VIX is going to just head lower tomorrow and into the end of the week.
We'll see.
That's what I think is going to happen. But again, we did get a reaction bounce. But so long as we stay below that 23 level, I think we're good, and I think the market can continue grinding higher.
We spiked.
Yeah, and let's see what happens.
We spiked last week. Very, very, very briefly on the 10th. Above 23, but yeah, it's all been below. It's just interesting because you and I have been talking about this 20 mark since before we even started this show, and it just doesn't want to finish under 20. So you think by the end of the month, we'll save it for the predictions. All right, so moving on to Airbnb. Let me go ahead and refresh here, and I finally got the account, so no more ads. Loving that. All right, Airbnb. So we're at $2 or $210.20 right now. And what chart do you want for this?
You can go to the 5-year.
5-year, okay.
Yeah, hasn't been publicly listed for 5 years, but
all right, not very long.
And the reason why I wanted to bring up the 5-year is because I wanted you to take a look at this crazy price action.
Sure.
Airbnb right now has a $120 to $130 billion market cap, somewhere in that area. Marriott's market cap is $40 billion. So you've got a market cap that is almost 3 times higher their nearest brick and mortar competitor.
Yeah.
Airbnb is an online platform. It's a travel company. You can book rentals or vacation stays, what have you, on their platform. They have a lot of users. I use their platform, and they are changing the landscape of hospitality.
I'll say they did a good job of repositioning to get away, like COVID getaway spots and stuff like that when all this hit. I was impressed.
Yeah, and whereas I think a lot of consumers are skeptical of any major hotel brands making claims about a completely COVID-free environment, saying things like, we will have your room completely clean, we will have the entire hotel so clean that there's not even a risk. People are skeptical of that.
Sure.
They know how busy hotels are, but Airbnb operates in this different space in which you're not trusting the brand, you're not trusting Airbnb, you're kind of putting your trust into their host.
Yeah, the household. Sure.
Yeah. And to a lot of people,
similar with what Uber does and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, it's to a lot of people, it's easier to walk into a smaller setting and to trust those smaller settings.
Sure.
Right. You're not going to be in there with a million people. You'll have a room to yourself, and it's easier for you to kind of control or manage your settings.
Sure.
Right. You can. It's really easy to manage your booking.
Yeah.
On Airbnb. And the main reason why I bring Airbnb up is because it's clearly stealing market share in the hospitality and travel space. It has no clear competitor, and I'm wondering where it goes from here, given how big it's gotten.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely one to keep your eye on. There's no price history really, so to speak of, so we can just keep going higher and higher from here, and I think we will, especially.
It's crazy. I mean, it's more than doubled.
COVID environment.
More than doubled in the last year.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. All right. I like that one, actually. That's a good one. That would be a good, like, diversification one to go with, which clearly wasn't, it was in the beginning, but it really wasn't that affected. Obviously, there's a big drop. Everything dropped, but the whole COVID thing, so it definitely had some staying power through that. And clearly, if you look at the last year, it was like, COVID what? Like, out of my face, COVID. How about that? So, all right. So, moving into the last one. So, Palantir Tech. So this one I'm not familiar with, so I'm kind of interested on what's going on with this one here.
So Palantir is a super hot meme stock. It is has a major investor by the name of Peter Thiel. You might have heard from him, PayPal.
Yep.
He was a major investor in Facebook too. It is a data and software company that works almost exclusively with the government right now. So it's kind of in its own defined space. And it dabbles in cybersecurity.
Okay.
So it's kind of everything under the sun data and software firm that has contracts with the government. And I think it was publicly listed, definitely less than a year ago. It has a $54 billion market cap right now. And as you can see by its recent price action, it's on the move.
Sure.
We had a double top there, maybe at like the $40 level.
Yep.
But now it's basing out support, and I think it goes higher. I think this is definitely a company to watch. It's kind of shrouded in mystery right now.
Actually, if you look at the chart, it's a really good time
GSA,
to jump in. Yeah.
I think so.
Like a really good time to jump in.
A little bit of support there. Yeah. Just wait till it jumps into commercial projects. Just wait till it jumps into the private sector.
Sure.
Which is, where it's headed.
Yeah.
According to its CEO. So, a lot to like there. A lot of government contracts. There's a big community around the space. And you have, one of Silicon Valley's most iconic investors funding the project. So I think Palantir is definitely one to keep your eye on. If you like playing options, Palantir's options do right now express high volatility. So if you're maybe not the best play for those of you who don't want to take on a lot of risk, but for those who do have an appetite for risk, I would definitely buy options on this.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any options until Sundial either disappears my options thing. I got the ones if they pass on, but I refuse to open up any more options. I should have put that on the list. Limit yourself to how many options you'll have open at one time, which I've done in a moment of reflection. So, all right, man. So I really, the last one that's Palantir. That's a really good one. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so for predictions, so the VIX, do you feel like we're under 20 by the end of the week?
I think we dip under 20 again.
Okay.
I know that's a bold prediction to make.
If you look at the recent history, it's very bold. As crazy as it seems, it is very bold. Okay.
Yeah. There's a trade there. There's a trade against that 20 level. But I think if it does dip down and close, like say it closes a daily candle, maybe 2 daily candles in a row under that 20 level, I do think it's going down to that 17, 18 area.
Sure. For sure.
Yeah, and that space is going to change.
I'm excited for artificial intelligence this Saturday. I'm excited to cover it, start getting, do a little bit more research and putting stuff together. So, all right, folks. So we'll see you guys in a few days. This is Market Peak with Seth and Matt. I can talk. I really can with Seth and Matt, and we'll see you guys soon. Boom.